Hi, this is Bermi Dizon. Just this early afternoon, I had a meeting with three other pastors in the area. And to be honest, kind of all of us were kind of feeling tired and exhausted because of this pandemic. We talk about the struggles and the challenges, and not only about us, but also about people that we know who are struggling with it and missing the good old days. Now, this same feeling has happened before. I mean, in Isaiah 43, it's a very good verses. I haven't really thought about this before, but in verses 16 to 19, it talks about the great miracles that God did for the Israelites when they came out of Egypt. In verse 16, God talked about Him opening and parting of the Red Sea. And the amazing thing, it goes into verse 17 too, that great miracle when God even vanquished the enemy of Israel, the Egyptian army. But then in verse 18, surprisingly, God said, remember not the former things, nor consider the things of old. Then God said, behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Kind of opposite to what God did, where they walk on the dry path in the midst of the Red Sea. And now He's going to make rivers in the desert. Kind of interesting. But the interesting thing is, why will God say, don't remember that? Forget about it. Why is that? It's a good question to ask. Because a lot of times, when we go through tough times, um, at least in my case, that's how I feel. Sometimes we feel that we will never experience anymore the good things that happened in the past. Maybe we'll never experience the goodness or the kindness of God because these are really getting more and more difficult. Have you felt that maybe our best years are behind us? Have you found that sometimes you feel this longingness? Oh, I wish those days are back, what there used to be. But the problem is that we can start losing perspective when we are too much focused on the good old days. So here I think God is making a point, a very important point for us. God is basically saying here in these verses, hey, remember when you were back against the Red Sea, when you were pinned down by the armies of Egypt? Remember how scared you were? Remember how I opened the Red Sea for you? Well, forget about that, God is saying. So what? Don't even consider it, he said. Because, and that's the interesting part, because I am about to do something new, something better than what I did in the past. This time, he said, I'm going to make a way in the wilderness, rivers in the desert. So God is saying, don't be limited by what I have done in the past. I'm always capable of doing a new thing. So I think about this, and wow, such a God we have. God is always capable of doing a new thing, better things. In some very real way, as Christians, God promises you and me that the very best of our days are actually ahead of us. And the beautiful and the challenging thing is that God's new thing is so different and so much better than what we expect.